Okay, in the previous video, I explained this part of deciding on your pricing, what you have to look at and where can you get advice. So let's continue now with the wholesaler channel. The wholesaler channel is not always applicable. So in business, currently, according to the news, there's no wholesaler in the market, because if you go back to your news here, it doesn't say there's a wholesaler buying a certain number of units at what price. Okay, so in this case, when the wholesaler is in the market, the news will inform you there's a wholesaler or there's somebody buying in bulk and they want to buy an X amount of units from your company at what price. Then you decide whether to sell to the wholesaler or not. So the fact that this news for period 1 doesn't have a wholesaler, so we just leave this section for now. Okay, but when there's a wholesaler in the market, we usually have to fill this one up. But in the first period, there's no wholesaler. We just have one distribution channel, which means we will only sell through our shop. Okay, no wholesaler, no two distribution channel. Currently, only one, which is your shop. Every customer that wants to buy a surfboard, they come to your shop, they buy from there. You don't produce for them and send the surfboards to them. No. Okay, they come to the shop, they buy from the shop. And we assume one customer only buys one surfboard. Okay, that's why we will be using this. Maybe sometimes I will say market in units or market in customers. That means if you are able to sell 150 surfboards, that means 150 people will come to your shop, and each of those persons will buy one surfboard. Okay, so since now there's no wholesaler in the market, so there's only one distribution channel, which is our shop. We leave this open for period 1. Don't fill it in. Okay, so then we go to, I know by this time you are asking yourself, but how many are we going to sell in our shop? We will answer that question when we go to the next section, which is market. Okay, so let's move on to marketing expenses. Obviously, I explained to you how much money you have to spend on these expenses from your balance sheet. Obviously, I explained how much cash do you have, and from that money, you must now start allocating that money to this kind of expenses like marketing. Okay, so how much money do you need to spend for the next 6 months to create awareness for your products? In other words, to market. Okay, unfortunately, we only have two forms of or two mediums of marketing, which is print advertising and sales promotion. So we have to come up with a budget, marketing budget for 6 months, and we split that budget between these two tools of marketing. We decide how much of that budget that we want to spend on marketing, how much of it will go for print, how much of it will go for sales promotion. Okay, you have to divide, in other words, that budget between print and sales promotion. So now you are asking, but how much should we invest? According to the market research, if you come to the market research here, they said here under market overview, marketing costs should be between 5 to 10% of sales, but in the first period, we must invest more than 10% of sales. Okay, at this point, we don't have our sales yet. Okay, at this point, we don't have our sales yet, but that doesn't mean we don't have to fill in this section. We can still just fill in. I will show you how to do it. Okay, so in other words, we will fill this one using information we have in our business plan. Okay, so what you do, you go to the business plan here. Okay, you look at what was budgeted for marketing according to the business plan. See here, expected turnover. This is your expected sales, and the consultant, because the rule says we must invest more than 10% in the first period, the consultant decided to invest 14% of your turnover of this money to marketing expenses, which means in the first 6 months, according to our business plan, we expected to make about 64,000 I'm back. Lot of disturbance, don't mind. Okay, so you have to look at the budget that was allocated for marketing for the first period. I said only check under the first column. If you look here, planned expenses for communication, print, and sales promotion. So your total budget budgeted for was only 9,013 euros. Okay, that means now this is what you have now to when you come to the business, I mean to the planning tool. This is the budget you must split here. I can now say, usually I will advise you to advertise, to invest more money in print advertising, because it's good to build your brand. So I would maybe say, of the 9,000, I will spend the 6,000 here, and I will spend the 3,013 that is left here. Okay, but I don't know if this money is enough. I will show you. We will have to come back here. That's why the zero here is still zero, because we don't have sales forecast yet. But when we finish with this section, so this percentage will show here, and we will come back and check here whether the percentage above 10%. If it's not above, then we will have to invest now more money here, so that at least we get above 10% there. Okay, so that is all about marketing. What are you going to do again? You just go to your business plan, check how much was budgeted for. It's 9,013 euros, and you just come back to the planning tool and you just split the budget to these two expenses. But the thing is, this budget is not, you have the power to change the budget, because you are the managers. So you have the power to change the budget. Okay, that means you can actually add more money here. If you think it's not enough, you can maybe change this. You could make it 8,000, or you could make this one 5,000. It's up to you. You have to look at how much money you have. Okay, but the concept is, the more money you invest, the more awareness you create, the more customers come to your shop. Okay, the simulation software that I showed you earlier will determine the highest well-known company. It will say you are well-known, maybe 20% of the market, or 15%, and the company that is known for, the company that has high awareness, obviously will receive more customers, and is likely to sell more. Okay, then we move on to the next section, which is sales forecast. Okay, so with the sales forecast, here you just have to indicate how many sales people do you need in the first period. Okay, if you go to your marketing research, you can check here. Go to information regarding human resources and premises, and as you can see there, so it says there, required workers in sales 1, which means the market research is advising us only to make use of one salesperson in the first period. At least for the first 6 months, we don't need to hire a lot of salespeople, because if we hire more, it means also we have to pay more in salaries. And remember, per worker, 9,000 is paid for 6 months. Okay, if we make 2 sales workers, then it means we have also to double the salaries there and the hiring costs. So that's why, so we just maybe stick to the advice of the market research and just go for one salesperson. Okay, so this is how you complete your first section of the planning tool, which is your sales for your sales. Okay, so you decide on your price. You skip the wholesaler for now, because there's no wholesaler in the market. And then you determine your communication or advertising or marketing budget here. Then you decide how many workers you need in your sales department.